Henyard says she is endorsing a new board, but not announcing who they are just yet, instead promising to name them later this month. Henyard is under investigation by the FBI.
You're using public funds for something that taxpayer dollars shouldn't be used for.
No, we were. It was the kind of news that brings an entire town to a standstill. Thornton Township Supervisor and Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who famously dubbed herself the Super Mayor, was arrested earlier today by federal agents. After years of swirling allegations, contentious board meetings, and headline-grabbing public stunts, the FBI's investigation culminated in a dramatic turn of events that few saw coming. Henyard's arrest has left the community reeling, her critics feeling vindicated, while her supporters scrambled to defend her.
Stories new at 6. Embattled Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is mounting a re-election bid. Henyard made the announcement in a post on her Facebook page.
But how did it come to this? Let's rewind and unpack the chaotic chain of events that may have led to Henyard's downfall. From her contentious tenure as mayor to the bold allegations of corruption and abuse of power, the saga paints a dramatic picture of how it all unraveled.
The election is not until 2025, yet Tiffany Henyard has officially decided she wants to stay as mayor despite the cloud of controversy surrounding her.
First, let's talk about the arrest itself. Henyard was reportedly taken into custody early in the morning at her Dalton home. Witnesses described seeing several federal agents entering the property, with some noting that her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, was also present during the arrest. Woods, who has faced controversies of his own, reportedly watched as agents escorted Henyard out in handcuffs. While the exact charges remain undisclosed, sources close to the investigation suggest they include allegations of embezzlement, misuse of public funds, and obstruction of justice. Henyard's arrest marks a pivotal moment in a sweeping federal probe into her management of Thornton Township and Dalton finances. An investigation that has already sent shockwaves through the political landscape of the south suburbs. To understand the gravity of this moment, one must trace the long trail of controversies that have followed Henyard since she took office in 2021. From the outset, she made headlines with her larger-than-life persona. Henyard wasn't just a mayor or a township supervisor. She was the self-proclaimed super mayor, a title she proudly embraced and splashed across banners, billboards, and social media posts. Her face became a fixture in Dalton and Thornton Township, gracing promotional materials, event flyers, and even village welcome signs. Critics quickly labeled her behavior as self-serving and egotistical, but Henyard dismissed the accusations, insisting she was simply a leader who wanted to connect with her community. "I'm the people's mayor and the people's supervisor," she declared in one of her many impassioned public speeches.
Now an important business in Thornton Township which hit a roadblock tonight, not because of the weather, not because of logistics, but because 2 trustees refused to show up.
Behind the flashy image, however, lay a troubling pattern of alleged financial mismanagement. Reports of questionable spending began surfacing early in Henyard's tenure, painting a stark contrast to her public persona. Claims included extravagant credit card purchases for items such as high-end furniture and luxury travel. One particularly shocking revelation detailed a $43,000 spending spree on Amazon in a single day, allegedly charged to village accounts. Then there was the infamous skating rink, a $2 million project that many residents claimed was built without proper approval. Critics noted that it seemed to only operate during events hosted by Henyard herself. Opponents accused her of using taxpayer money to bankroll personal vanity projects, while supporters argued that her initiatives were well-intentioned efforts to improve the community.
Their absence prevented Supervisor Tiffany Henyard from filing a vacancy on the board. So what is going on and why the power play?
But the spending wasn't the only issue. Henyard's leadership style raised eyebrows from the start, with her frequent clashes with the Dalton Village Board of Trustees becoming a hallmark of her administration. Meetings often descended into chaos, marked by shouting matches where trustees accused Henyard of overstepping her authority, and Henyard countered with allegations of sabotage. In one particularly tumultuous meeting, Henyard stormed out after being heckled by both residents and trustees. "You all should be ashamed of yourselves," she shouted before leaving the room. Such moments painted the picture of a leader under siege, battling not just her critics, but seemingly the entire political establishment. Her combative approach wasn't confined to boardrooms. It spilled into the streets and onto social media, where Henyard frequently took to Facebook Live to call out her critics by name. She often accused them of undermining her leadership out of jealousy or personal vendettas. In one particularly fiery broadcast, she referred to her detractors as the venomous of the progress and vowed to expose every single one of them. These online tirades became a spectacle, drawing cheers from loyal supporters and sharp criticism from those who questioned her professionalism. Meanwhile, some residents claimed to fear retaliation, alleging that Henyard weaponized her influence to silence dissent, whether through lawsuits, public shaming, or the strategic use of township resources.
Dawn and Scott, the meeting wrapped up early because two trustees, as you mentioned, did not show up: Chris Gonzalez and Carmen Carlisle. Without them, not enough board members were present to make official decisions.
Adding fuel to the fire were allegations that Henyard had begun alienating key allies within her own administration. Over time, several former supporters, including trustees who had once championed her initiatives, turned against her. They accused her of consolidating power at the expense of transparency and collaboration. Even her former assistant, Carmen Carlisle, became a vocal critic, claiming that Henyard frequently bypassed established procedures to push through her own agenda. "She doesn't consult anyone. It's her way or the highway," Carlisle said in a recent interview. These internal fractures further isolated Henyard, fostering an atmosphere of distrust and dysfunction that only widened the rift between her and the board.
You must show up to your scheduled board meetings. I don't care if you agree or disagree, but you must show up to say yes or no, or vote present.
As tensions escalated, so did the allegations against Henyard. Trustees accused her of bypassing board approval for major decisions, including the appointment of key officials. One of the most contentious moves was her appointment of Ronald Burge as Dolton's police chief. Burge, whose state certification was reportedly inactive at the time, faced criticism for allegedly lacking the necessary qualifications for the role. Trustees argued that Henyard's unilateral decision to appoint him was illegal, but a judge ultimately allowed Burge to serve in an interim capacity. The appointment only deepened the rift between Henyard and the board, with one trustee calling her actions a blatant disregard for proper protocol. Accusations of intimidation and retaliation also began to surface. Several residents and business owners claimed they were targeted by Henyard's administration. One business owner alleged that his company was shut down after he refused to make a political donation to her campaign. Another claimed Henyard used the Dolton Police Department as her personal enforcement squad, harassing critics and opponents. Even Carmen Carlisle, Henyard's former assistant and once one of her closest allies, became a whistleblower, accusing Henyard of running the township like her own personal fiefdom. Carlisle's defection was particularly damning, as she had been a key figure in Henyard's inner circle. Perhaps the most shocking allegations, however, involved Henyard's handling of township finances. Trustees accused her of withholding financial records and forging checks to bypass board approvals. One former trustee described the situation as a shell game, alleging that Henyard moved funds between accounts to mask deficits and fund unapproved projects. A township once believed to have a healthy surplus was later revealed to be millions in debt. A preliminary report from former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who was hired to investigate Thornton Township's finances, painted a grim picture of financial mismanagement and a lack of oversight. Henyard, however, dismissed the report as a political hit job, accusing her critics of hate, jealousy, and envy.
Every single resident. Pay me what you owe me.
Despite the mounting controversies, Henyard remained defiant. She continued hosting public events, such as turkey giveaways and holiday parties, often using these occasions to defend her record and rally her supporters. In one particularly memorable Facebook Live video, she addressed her critics head-on, calling them Judases and vowing to fight back. Read, I sue everybody! Because I'm coming. No, I'm coming for defaming my name, defaming my character, and this conspiracy to destroy Tiffany Henyard. I will come for everyone, she declared. The nearly hour-long video highlighted Henyard's fiery personality and unyielding determination to clear her name. It was a bold performance that reinforced her image as a leader unwilling to back down, even as the controversies around her continued to grow.
Hey guys.
While Henyard was busy defending herself on social media, the FBI was quietly building its case. Federal agents reportedly launched their investigation earlier this year, interviewing witnesses and scrutinizing financial records from both Dolton and Thornton Township. The probe soon expanded to include Henyard's political committee and charity, with investigators examining allegations of money laundering and misuse of public funds. A major turning point came with the arrest of one of Henyard's top allies earlier this year. Many speculated that the ally had agreed to cooperate with authorities in exchange for leniency, further tightening the net around Henyard. As news of her arrest spread, reactions from the community were swift and polarized. Supporters expressed shock and disbelief, with some accusing the FBI of targeting Henyard because of her status as a young Black woman in a position of power. This is just another example of the system trying to tear down a strong Black leader, one supporter said. Critics, however, saw the arrest as a long overdue reckoning. She's been running this town like her own personal kingdom for years. It's about time someone held her accountable, remarked a longtime Dolton resident.
So yes, keep telling y'all never, ever, ever find another person like me.
What does Henyard's arrest mean for the future of Dolton and Thornton Township? With the mayor now in federal custody, the political landscape of the south suburbs is poised for significant change. Trustees and residents alike are calling for new leadership, while some worry that the scandal will cast a lasting shadow over the community. We need to rebuild trust and restore integrity to our local government, one trustee remarked. This is a wake-up call for all of us. As the dust settles, one thing is certain. The saga of Tiffany Henyard is far from over. Her arrest marks the beginning of what promises to be a long and complex legal battle. Will she fight the charges and attempt a political comeback, or is this the end of her controversial career? And what lessons can be drawn from her rise and fall? Was her arrest justified, or is she being unfairly targeted? More importantly, what does this mean for the future of Dolton and Thornton Township? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for updates on this developing story. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.